Yo, what is good, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna share, and today in this video we're gonna be reviewing Mitsuki. He's a blue type character that has a replay event going on right now. You can farm his fragments, you can actually bull on his banner. It's a discounted banner with only 400 Shinobites for 10 bulls. However, I wouldn't advise you to do that because his kit isn't actually that great. Probably the only good thing in his kit is the ultimate. So we're gonna be reviewing the ultimate first thing. His ultimate is the Ferocious Snake, and it does 3 hits. So if you guys never knew how many hits this ultimate does, it does 3 hits. It has a base bar of 4000, CP cost of 300. It has a 60 seconds cooldown. With max abilities, it's 55 seconds cooldown. There's nothing special there except for the fact that it has a very good range. It goes through walls. It does 3 hits. And by the way, the 3 hits here. By the way, every ultimate that had multiple hits that was released before Kamui for Kakashi actually had the damage divided over the hits. So for example, if I tell you that some character that was released before Kamui of Kakashi had a maximum damage of 10,000 and had 4 hits, that means every one of his hits did only 2,500. So the maximum of the damage he does with all the hits would be the total damage. However, in Kamui's situation, or in Rasen Shuriken's situation, every hit has the maximum power. So if the Kamui had a maximum power of 10,000 and it does 9 hits, for example, that means it does a total of 90,000. Okay, so every ultimate that was released before Kamui's, Kakashi's Kamui, does the same thing. Like all the total damage will be divided over the head. And the same thing happens here for Mitsuki. His 3 hits, like every hit has 1/3 of the total damage. And to test that, I actually had to use another ultimate that is also blue type and level 1 without any cards on it. So you gotta see, like, you should be seeing that on the screen right now. You should be seeing that, like, Mitsuki with his 3 hits, every one of his 3 hits did 5,000 damage, while on Sasori's situation, with 1 hit he did 15,000 damage. So you can see right there that the damage is divided over the 3 hits. So it isn't really that great of an ultimate. The multi-hit here is not a special thing. But however, the ultimate actually can go through walls. It's very instant, it's very quick, and yeah, I like the ultimate, to be honest, but that's the only thing that he has good in him. Next thing we have here is the wind waves, and yeah, what it does is that he attacks or like throws around 3 or 4, I can't remember exactly, I think 4 waves or 3, I think it's just 3, so 3 waves to the front, and every one of the waves has like 1/3 of the total power here, which is 5,200. The CP cost is 100, and it decreases the evasion rate of the enemy. It's not really a special effect, but it's like no other character has the same effect. So there's that, and it goes very far. You can actually use it as a long target attack. You can like snipe things from far away. You can snipe characters that are like stuck away in like behind the wall, and you can just snipe them from far away without having to go all the way up to them. So there's that. Next up we have the Ripples, whatever the name is. So what he does here is that he greatly extends the arms to attack, causing damage. So he extends his arm to the front. This attack, by the way, goes through walls. It's a single target attack, by the way. So in case you have like multi targets in front of you, it will only hit 1 target. I don't know exactly how that attack chooses a target, because I tried it, and sometimes it chooses like the closest target to you and sometimes the farthest target to you. So I have no idea how this works. However, it goes through walls. It has a very long range, and it's again a single target. It only does damage to 1 target. So there's that. The last jutsu we have here is the Paper Bomb combo, and it's kind of similar to the kunais that Shikamaru has. So Shikamaru does the same thing, like he throws 3 kunais to the front, but the difference between the kunais of Shikamaru and Mitsuki here is that the kunais for Mitsuki have paper bombs attached to them, and when they hit the ground, they actually stay there until they either explode after a certain amount of time, or if the enemy walks towards them or around them. So they explode. Like, they're not like Shikamaru's kunais, because Shikamaru's kunais just, if they hit the ground without hitting the enemy, they will just go to waste. However, the paper bomb combo, the kunais stay in the ground until, I think, I'm not sure exactly because I didn't count how many seconds there, but I think it's like around 5 seconds, something like that. And in case the enemy walks over the kunais attached with the paper bombs, they would explode and do damage. So you can actually use some kind of a combo here, like you can throw the kunais on the ground and then use the ripless, this hand, to actually like pull the enemy towards you. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say that, like you can pull the enemy towards you and like confuse them for a millisecond, something like that. So when you use it, of course you can't, if there's a wall in front of you, you will not be able to pull them all the way up to you, of course. But in case there's nothing in front of you, you will pull them towards you. And in case there's kunais on the ground with the paper bombs, you can actually pull them over the kunais with the paper bombs, and then you will do damage to them using both attacks actually. Like the ribless does damage, and also the explosions from the paper bombs do damage as well. So I don't think he would be qualified for anything in the game so far. Not for the SAM, not for defense, because he, like, every time I go against him in defense, he's so easy to counter and to kill. Yeah, and as a sub character, he wouldn't actually be that great either. If I have to take like a blue character with me, it would be Itachi, and even Itachi as a sub character is not really that great, because of the fact that blue characters don't really have that much defense and HP either. They have, however, a lot of CB and decent attack, but yeah, that's all about it. Like, most of the time, the blue characters should have very good kits with like a lot of practical attacks that work in different situations. It's not the same thing for Mitsuki here. He's probably one of the worst blue characters. However, he's one of he's the best character of all 3 in his team. Like Boruto and Sarada, Janine versions are terrible compared to him. Mitsuki is probably the best here because of his ultimate. So yeah, you can still use him as a main character though if you don't have any other options, because of the fact that you can just remove one of his jutsus and replace it with the skill, the jump skill, and you can use him as your main character. His ultimate is working very well as well. As I mentioned, it goes through walls. You can kill a lot of enemies without having to actually go against them. But at the end of the day, if you have to go 1 versus 1 against someone without your ultimate being available for you, you will probably end up dead. So there you go. Mitsuki is not really useful in the game anymore. I don't think anyone should roll for him at all until maybe they will give him a new cat with the Sage mode in his ultimate or different attacks. So I guess this is probably the only possibility for people to bowl on him. So there you go, guys. This is Mitsuki. Do not bowl for him. He's just like Sasuke. I guess both of them are not really worth it for the Shinobites. And by the way, before I forget, yeah, I mentioned in the last video that Sasuke with his old ultimate does 3 heads. It's exactly the same thing as the ultimate for Mitsuki here. His ultimate damage gets divided over the 3 heads. It doesn't really do the 3 head, like it doesn't really do the full damage in the 3 heads. So you're gonna see right now the difference between his ultimate and Naruto's ultimates. So you can see like they are both at level 1. They're both red type, and they have only their ultimate attached to them. So you will see that like the total amount of damage that Sasuke does with his 3 heads is equal to the same amount of damage that Naruto does with his Rasengan. So yeah, there you go, guys. Yeah, sorry about that fact that I mentioned in the last video, in Sasuke's video, because I did not really test it before I actually released the video, but after I did, I realized that I fucked up and I wanted to actually mention it here in this video. So there you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video.